In this video, we're going to look at the task of getting audio into Edison. We are going to break this down into two main ways of which you can do so: importing or loading audio files, as well as recording audio directly into Edison. First, let's take a look at using existing audio files. There are a few ways you can get your audio files into Edison by clicking on the file icon and selecting Load Sample. You can navigate to the location of your file and open it. Another way that might be more intuitive is to drag and drop the file. Using Windows Explorer, navigate to where your file is and simply click and drag it into Edison. If you are working with samples that are located in your FL Studio browser, you can locate the desired file in the browser and drag it into Edison as well. You can clear any loaded audio file from the File menu by selecting New. Upon doing so, any loaded file will be removed and the editor cleared. So now that we know how to import and load pre-recorded audio files, let's take a look at recording audio directly into Edison. Recording into Edison is the recommended way of recording audio into your project for single instruments such as vocals or guitars, as opposed to recording directly to the playlist. The advantages include live waveform preview and loop recorded options. We will begin by setting up Edison to receive audio from your audio interface. To do this, click on the input menu from the channel in which Edison is inserted into. From the drop-down menu that appears, select the desired input of your audio interface that is connected to your audio source. Next, we need to select the recording start method from Edison. I will cover these options individually in a moment, but for the time being, I will select Now. This will begin recording as soon as the record button is pressed. Now, before I press the record button, I will check my input levels. I can do this by looking at the input meters on the top right corner of the interface. While watching these levels, adjust the inputs on your audio interface. Now that I've got my input source all set up, I'll start recording. Again, I have recording set to start as soon as I hit the record button, so let's do that. Once I have finished recording, I can press stop, and from here I can edit this file and then use it within my project, in which we'll look at doing later on in this video series. But for now, we're going to look at some of the other recording modes in Edison. The On Input option will begin recording once the input has hit a certain threshold level. So with this option enabled, hit the record button. Recording will not start at this time. Now I'll play my source audio, and watch as soon as Edison hears the audio, recording will commence automatically. In this mode, audio will begin recording as soon as the input level passes the threshold value. To set this threshold, click and drag up or down on the input meters. You will see a green box on the waveform view to indicate the threshold levels. Using the input option is similar to On Input, where the recording will start once the threshold value has been exceeded. However, unlike the On Input option, input will pause recording a few seconds after the input levels fall below the threshold, and start recording again once the threshold levels are exceeded. This could be helpful if you are recording sections of a track and want to later import each section to the recording on its appropriate place in the song. The On Play mode will begin recording once you have started playback of your host. Again, in this case, FL Studio. You may have also noticed that FL Studio was in pattern mode. With every loop of the pattern, a marker was placed into the recorded file. This makes it easy to record several takes and then select the section you wish to use. We'll be looking closer at using markers in the next video. And those are the various record modes in Edison. Another option that pertains to recording audio is the max time option. The value entered here will be the maximum record time in minutes. If you are to go over this time, the recording will wrap back to the start and record over what you already recorded in Edison. This makes it great as a real-time audio backup when you are playing a live instrument and set it to say 2 to 3 minutes. Now once you have your audio either imported and edited or recorded, you can save the file by clicking on the file icon and selecting Save Sample As. The File Save dialog will appear, and you can navigate to the desired location and save your file. So in this video, we looked at getting audio into Edison by either importing or recording. In the next video, we will look at working with loops and regions.